Howdy everyone, this is Mopbot, this is the Diamond Society, and welcome back to episode number 108. We are standing here at the Nordic village in the area that we worked on. In last episode, we made this area look a whole lot better, and we did not stop there. In between episodes, we came down here and extended this area out here. We brought the grass out, put a retaining wall on there, and that needs to change. We have a big block of gray right now. At some point in the future, this must change. I tried to put some vines on there to see if that would help. They're still growing a little bit, so it looks a little bit odd. But yeah, we definitely need to change that in the future. We'll get to that though. Also in last episode, on the other side of this mountain, we have our ocean monument. We finished clearing out all of the water over there. We will be back over there later in this episode. However, first, we're going to focus over here because we have up there, one skeleton horse. Down here, two, three skeleton horses. We need a place to corral them. We're going to put a stables here. It's going to look much like a regular house like we have up here, although there are going to be some slight differences, and of course the interior is going to be totally different. So let's get that structure built up. We'll get the area around here looking pretty, and then we'll head right back over and keep working on that ocean monument. So here we have the outside of the build completely done. We are really using every possible block here. It's packed in super tight. Look at that. We are right up against that lamppost right there. Super fantastic. And over here where that little dangly bit comes over the building, this actually used to be down there and they were colliding, so we moved it over there. We really are, like I said, using every last bit of space that we have, which is fantastic. I think it gives it a really nicely knit kind of feel, and over time I think if we keep applying that same concept, this village is going to come together very nicely. Yeah, that is absolutely right at the edge. That's right at the edge right there. Even down here the terrain butts right up against the side of the building. Anyway, let's look at some of the changes that we made into this building versus the other ones. So first off, that's a little bit different. As you notice, those aren't quite the same. I actually like the new one a little bit more. They're similar, that's for sure, but this one's moved down a little bit, at least the window is, and we actually have some stairs under there. We have the same thing up there, so just adds a little bit of depth in some other places, which is pretty cool. We use that a little bit more versus some of the flat ones over there. I might actually come through and change these to the rounded ones, though. That could be pretty nice. And then different doorway, because this is going to be a stables. We don't really want a door. We want more of a gateway. And then, as I mentioned already, on the sides, we have those extra depths. And then the big one right here, yeah, we got an extra little peak coming over, and it just happened to meet it right where we want it, which is super fantastic. And then in order to account for that and the windows, we just set them right up the side, and that's super neat. That's not something I've done before, which I think is pretty fantastic. Otherwise, the inside is pretty standard. We just kind of blocked everything off, made it smoother, brought the wood across. I actually am going to bring these down though to make the different stables, so that won't be like that in the end. But that is the next step, is to build the stables, and we'll do something with the floor in there to make it look kind of like muddy, kind of dirty, and make it look like it would be a stables, which is going to be pretty fantastic. The area around here is also all done up now. We got all of the new greenery in there. We're not done, however. We have plenty of greens already, but we are still going to add more. This goes all the way around, by the way, even through the back and up against here. So we got room for trees, we've got room for shrubs, and where there are trees and where there are shrubs, there will also be plenty of mushrooms. And as we have over here where we've got something like this, we'll have a couple of those, the mushroom blocks like that, some mushrooms growing wildly. That will be absolutely fantastic. Maybe no water, maybe water, not quite sure. It just depends on how much space I have. I'm going to play around with it, that's for sure. But for now, we're just going to add some of that stuff in, and hopefully we come out with a pretty neat finished product. We have this beautiful view right now as the night sky is setting. This place is looking pretty good. That tree in front of it actually adds quite a bit, and the little bit of a bush right there and the inside actually being finished makes it really come together, which is absolutely fantastic. Now this tree looks a little bit odd. It looks different from the other ones, that's for sure. This is the first newer type of tree that I've used. It's basically just a smaller version of that, because what I didn't realize is that we really didn't have enough room for a tree in here. It's very tightly packed, which I guess I probably should have considered, but nonetheless, we fit a smaller tree in there. We added some mushrooms around it, a couple of bushes here and there, right here, over there, there's some as well, and then around the back we have another tree, full-sized, but very stumpy, very close down to the ground. We probably could have brought that up one block, I suppose. That probably wouldn't have been too bad. Maybe we'll come back and change that, because that looks a little bit odd being so close to the ground right now. And in fact, never mind, that's right on top of it, although I suppose we can remove that and remove it on the other side as well. Maybe take some playing, but right now it looks like a big ball of brush. So anyway, those go around the sides here. There's also that one right there, as y'all can see. And coming on to the inside, we've got the ground all done up, gravel, coarse dirt, puzzle, and then also some brown concrete, and then some of that's the solid concrete as well. horses in each one. That one's kind of doing his own thing, apparently. He must be on top of that, is my guess. But yeah, anyway, a couple of hay bales in there, some water here and there as well. There's another hay bale in there. Everything's looking pretty cool in my opinion. We got our armor right here. Plenty of gold armor, iron and diamond as well, and then the saddle down here. You cannot, however, put this armor on those guys, so maybe we'll swap one of these out. None of them are actually that good of horses. I really noticed that that one has barely any health. Can't really jump. Can kind of jump, actually. Actually, maybe that's a pretty decent jump. Ah! Wait a minute. What did I? Oh, must have been in there. Anyway, maybe he's pretty decent jump, but none of these were really fast, I noticed, so maybe we'll trade some out at some point. But anyway, that's pretty much done. Let's head over to the Ocean Monument. In between episodes, I came over here and I cleared out what was left of underneath this platform. It was a bunch of water, a bunch of hills. It's all gone now, which is absolutely fantastic. I did not remove these, however. These actually just did not generate. The hill went right through them, and so the blocks just did not get created. We'll have to replace those. That's not too big of a deal, however, because we will pretty much be redoing all of them anyway. Before we get to that, though, we are going to need at least a small guardian farm so that we can get plenty of resources in order to do that. We used up pretty much all of our dark prismarine, which we're going to need using creating all of this out here. We need to add some lights in there as well, I've just realized. So we're also going to have a path going around this place, and then we can fill in the rest with some sand. Now, I've already gotten rid of most of the chests that I had around this place. I'm just trying to create some room so I can actually work in this area. This will have to come up. The nether portal will come up. Those can get moved up to a platform. It's a little hard to work in this area right now, I've noticed. Just trying to get back there and work with all that is a little bit odd. But now that we've gotten all this out, all we have over here is our sand or sponge and a couple of prismarine blocks rather that were left. I think I got rid of them from up here, maybe somewhere. That noise is interesting. So anyway, we've got plenty of work to do. Before we get to this, we're going to focus right on this area and try to get a nice solid platform for everything that we're going to do over here. Spent the last couple of days sick. Hopefully that's not coming across in my voice, but here we have it. We've got this path that goes right around the side. I had plenty of time to get this all done, as well as getting in some sand around here. So the prismarine over here is broken up by the prismarine bricks, and then after a small layer here we have sand that's broken up by the end stone. We've got lights also around the outside here. We've got some jack-o'-lanterns. Oh, hello. Over here. And we don't need them over there because we have the lights on the path to keep that area lit. So between these lights and these lights here, this whole area is lit as well. Over here we have some sea lanterns underneath that white glass to keep this whole area lit up. We do, however, have a couple of dark patches around here. And of course we have that whole area there that I'm trying to keep lit. But this will be fixed once we redo these pillars. They'll have lights in them, and that will keep some light around here as well. So that's pretty fantastic. I really do like how this end stone looks, though. Wasn't quite sure about it at first, but now it's really growing on me. So anyway, over here, we started to run out of these sea lanterns. I've actually used up everything I have, so we need a way to get some more of those. We're going to have to create a couple of tanks up there and then start farming some of this stuff so that we actually have plenty of that for the rest of this part here, and then a load of it for the rest of the building. We're going to need so much, and it's going to be so good. But yeah, we are going to need a couple of tanks. I'm probably going to get one done right now, maybe two. We'll see just how much time I have and just how long it takes me to do this. They are going to be fairly big, so yeah, it could take me kind of a while, but we're going to have two big ones going along right here and right there. So we now have a fourth beacon beam into the mix. We've got jump boost added in there, and turning around here, we have the farms in here. The dirt is only temporary. We will be replacing that as soon as we get enough resources to build this farm in its entirety. And looking at it, oh, I'm going to have to replace those blocks right there with the signs resting on them that's blocking off the water from the tanks up here. That's so unfortunate. We're basically going to have to rebuild this entire thing. That means we're going to have to redo all the water, everything down here. I definitely had enough blocks where I could have just used those 7 as the correct ones. Didn't think that through. Thought I was totally out of that block, unfortunately. So that's going to add a little bit of work in the future, but we're not worried about that right now because we have everything in here. They spawn in the tanks up there. They're going to drop down, go down these paths, bop, 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 down through here, and then they come into this killing chamber in the middle. For now, we just have a couple of chests down there, but we are going to have entire rows of chests. And this thing, I've already spent a little bit of time down here, and it's my new food supply. We got plenty of cooked cod from that, and as you can see, we're getting a lot of other resources as well. So while we're in the area, it's going to be running, which is fantastic, so we can continue building up with all of the sea lanterns that we're going to need. We can keep collecting food from there as well, which is absolutely fantastic, and then we are all the while building up enough to build these other blocks that we're going to need. Dark prismarine is going to be a big one that we're going to need, however, so we're going to need a source for ink sacs. I'll have to check out if there's an ink sac farm somewhere on the server. Otherwise, we have quite a few ink sacs to last us over for the time being. But anyway, this is going to take a lot of AFKing to get to the next step, so hopefully y'all have enjoyed. Go ahead and subscribe for more, and I'll see y'all next time.